isn't it?
Have you like a pen or something to like prop it up with?
You'll just have to hold it yourself. Sorry?
No, that's a hassle.
Okay.
No, that's alright. That's fine.
Just let me see what the angle is on it.
I mean, I'm holding it. I'm trying to find. If I can wedge my phone in, that'll help.
Yeah, that might be.
I'll figure something out. Ah. I have to restrain myself, my smart comments on next to the camera.
I'm William Wilson, the president of PolSoc Society, and I won't be emceeing this event, but we're really excited who will be emceeing the event today. Now, we didn't think he'd arrive because he's very busy at the moment, but turns out he did. So, all the way from the United States, the 45th President of the United States, Mr. Donald Trump, everyone!
USA!
That's right, buddy. Ladies, you're late. You have to teach with me every class. Welcome, okay, to the Victoria University of Wellington PolSoc Youth Wing debate, okay? Making September 11 a day to remember. It is absolutely amazing to be here, and for you guys, it's not going to be so amazing very shortly, let me tell you, okay? I love this country. Let me tell you, I love this country. It is an amazing country. It's a beautiful country, and it's a great country. Okay? Let me tell you, it's very out of date. It's old-fashioned, okay? You need to do something about your technology. Okay, your birds are so old. They haven't even been updated so they can fly yet. Terrible, terrible thing. Okay, your birds are poor. I hate to tell you, but your birds, they're poor. Okay. Maybe the Green Party will do something to fix that. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, we've got an amazing debate for you today. Okay, amazing. I'm here, which obviously makes it very good. Okay. We got an amazing debate. We got the best debate. Okay, everybody else's debates are terrible. Okay? This is going to be an amazing debate. And you know what? Okay, here's the thing. Okay, the fake news media, these people here, terrible people. Okay, they're liars. Okay, they're going to try to tell you tomorrow. Okay, you were here. Okay, and you know it's not true. You know it's not true. These people, the dishonest, terrible media, are going to try to tell all of you that there are only 80 people in this stadium instead of 80,000. Terrible people, okay? And here are the rules for this amazing debate. There's a lot of people here, okay? There's got to be hundreds of thousands of people here, okay? So this is what you call a mass debate. It's going to be an amazing debate and a great debate, okay? So I got a couple of rules for you. Okay, because it's pretty difficult for these guys, some of them who have never spoken in front of women before. They have Facebook, I know. And the first rule, okay, is no heckling. You know what, okay? Because these people are going to have a hard enough time defending terrible policies as it is without you assholes interrupting, okay? That's rule number one. And here's the thing, okay? That's my job. These guys might not have social skills, but I do, okay? That's what I'm here for. I'm here to make fun of them, okay? And if you have any questions you want to ask, okay, this is rule number 2. You got any questions you want to ask? Do it on Facebook afterwards, okay? Passive-aggressive bullying, that is what Facebook is for. Okay? Cyberbullying, okay, it's bullying of the future. The cyber is amazing. I can talk to you for hours about the cyber, okay? Cyber, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And here's the thing, okay? You don't need to heckle, okay? Because these people are going to verbally and hopefully physically tear each other apart. Where's your New Zealand first candidate? Oh, that's you. Oh, good, good. Okay, and where's your ad candidate? You guys are sitting very close to each other. Very close. That's dangerous territory. Okay? We are never going to see Winston Peters against Stephen Seymour in a boxing ring, okay, which is a travesty, okay? It's a real shame. It's a terrible thing. Imagine how entertaining that would be. Who do you think would win?
Absolutely, David Seymour.
Yeah, exactly. Because Winston Peters is 150 years old. He was one of the original signatories, okay, of the Freedom Party. The reason he hates it so much is because he went, well, wait a second, I could have fixed this shit up so many way more sense. But then he's Winston Peters. He doesn't give a shit. Now, if a fight starts on stage, okay, I do not want you to join in, okay? Because fingers crossed, the ex-candidate is going to pull a knife and all that. That's very important. Now, it's important that you know, okay, these people, they don't want to be politicians. They don't want to be politicians. You know what they want to be, okay? They want to be famous, okay? They want to be rich. They want to be smart. They want to be very handsome. They want to be popular with the ladies. Sorry, it's not going to happen. They want a lot of things, okay? They want to be famous, like me, okay? I am so famous. You won't believe this, buddy, okay? I am so famous that people around the world dress up and pretend to be me. It's amazing. Even in your country, okay, you're so far away from civilization, let alone America. Okay? There's a guy in your country that dresses up, he pretends to be me. Okay? And let me tell you, that guy is absolutely terrible. He's too short, he's too fat, he's too ugly, he can't do the voice. And let me tell you, okay, he's probably embarrassed. He's got a small, you know what, down there, okay, tiny, like embarrassing, like a baby, okay, even smaller than Winston Peters. Did somebody just make a vomit sound at the thought of Winston Peters' penis? I totally understand. I understand. Okay, somebody don't want to think about it, but you thought about it. I want you all to take that home. That's your homework, okay? See if you can last the night without throwing up while also having okay, I bet you can. I bet you can. Okay. Here's the last thing. Rule number 4, okay? At the end of these guys, They're all guys. Have you noticed that, ladies? Yes, we have noticed it. Dishonest media, nobody gives a shit what you think. I'm not saying that women can't be leaders. I'm saying they can't be good ones. Here's rule number 4. Don't sigh. What did you expect me to say? Here's rule number 4. This is the important one. These people have worked very hard to put their talks together for you today, okay? So when they finish, I want you to cheer, okay? And clap and give them the respect they think they deserve. That's very important. This is how it's going to work. Okay, there are 2-minute opening statements. Okay? And then after that, I'm going to ask them all one question each. And they have 3 minutes to answer. Okay? And then I'm going to open it up for 4 minutes of carnage. Open debate. And then after that, they're going to get 1 minute closing statement each. Okay, do you understand? Your enthusiasm thrills me. Good. Okay, so starting this off, the first opening statement, I welcome to the stage the Greens candidate is never going to be in it. Not in this election, maybe one day, Elliot Croson.
There is one message I want to convey to you, and that is the urgency of the situation our society faces. Climate change threatens all life on Earth. Meanwhile, we're living in a state of inequality. The wealthy in this country have never had it so good.
Start again.
Can everyone hear? Okay, good. Climate change threatens all life on Earth. Meanwhile, our people are living in a state of inequality. The wealthy in this country have never had it so good, while we have people living in the streets in one of the richest countries in the world. Our kids go to school hungry, as house prices soar. People work long hours for low wages, as tax cuts are granted to the stinking rich. Our generation can't afford houses, can't afford rent, and are saddled with debt. We're facing inequality everywhere, and no wonder we have a mental health crisis as a result. As such, we do not have time for mere incremental change. Why are these crises so bad? Because our political system has been run in the interests of the greedy and the powerful for the last 33 years. Both National and Labour have subscribed to free market economics and have screwed us and the planet we live on as a result. The Green Party are the only party with a comprehensive plan to end poverty in Aotearoa this election, and we're the only party with a comprehensive plan to tackle climate change. We're the only party who will ensure that everybody lives in a warm, dry, affordable home, and that mental health gets the attention it deserves. We're the only party who understand that climate change and inequality have the same root cause, and that the solutions are linked: a new economic system for the planet and the people. The other parties offer commitments with no policy substance to back it up, and a track record that shows they will not deliver the sustained
Thanks
change.
for 2 minutes. Good job, buddy. That was great. Okay, here's another thing. I don't want to see anybody with a cell phone. I can see you at the back. Hello, turn your cell phone on. Okay, good. Now that we're paying attention, I was on my cell phone to talk, okay? We don't need anybody else to talk. You're here to listen to these people. Okay, good. Now, here we go. Person number 2, your national candidate, Sam Stead.
Good evening. So, as the President just said, my name is Sam Stead and I'm the very proud chair of the North Island Young Nationals. I don't want to take up too much of your time with boring points and boring comments, but I just wanted to tell you a quick story. So when I'm out on the streets, I have young people come up to me and they say, so you're a young person, why do you support National? And for me, the answer is really straightforward. I support National because National is a truly aspirational party for New Zealand. We're the party that says if you work hard, you will get ahead. We're the party that says if you need a hand up, we will give that to you and we'll get you back on your feet so you can keep doing better for you and your family. And we're the party that keeps on delivering for New Zealanders. Great catchphrase there. So, going into this election, there's a couple of big issues. It's whether we stay on the right track or if we just waste it all on other promises, ideas, and ideals. So, you can't buy groceries with ideals, right? What the National Party's doing is we're delivering tax cuts for low-income families, so they have an extra at least $20 in their pocket per week, so they can purchase more groceries, they can pay for the rent, they can put fuel in the car, or they can buy shoes for the children, whatever it may be. We've committed to raising 100,000 children out of poverty in the next 6 years, 50,000 in the next 3 years, which is huge, and Labour actually had to come out and match that after we had done it because it was such a high bar to set. We actually have the team that keeps on moving forward. We've got one of the best finance ministers in the history of the world, Bill, who steered this country through the GFC, through the Christchurch earthquake, and through the Kaikoura earthquake, and put us back in a surplus with high GDP and low unemployment now running this country. And you can see how great that really is for New Zealand's 4.6% unemployment, growing wages, and a better, wealthier country for us all. So this election, it's important to remember that we are the aspirational party. We're the party with the proven team and the proven coalition partners to keep us driving forward, which is so important, and just a reminder not to waste it on the 23rd of September.
Sam is nothing if not enthusiastic. Okay, good. And that was bang on time as well. Very good, very good. Okay, next up we have Labour. Okay, Moab Nana Ahi Rao.
Yeah!
Thank you for coming. My name is Mohan Nana Ahirao. I'll get you. So, just quickly, how many of you guys have actually already voted? So the rest of you guys have got 13 days, 12 days now, 11? Sorry, I don't really sleep at night anymore. To make up your mind and go over to the hub, or go across Astron Tower if you've done it Pip throughout the day, or go to the central library and cast your vote. You don't need to wait till election day. You may well be hungover on election day and not vote. But one of the reasons why I vote Labour, and one of the reasons why I joined the Labour Party, and one of the reasons I want as many of you as come to do it, vote Labour before the 23rd of September, is because when I went to school in Newtown Primary School 18 years ago, there were kids that went to the staff room to get toast for lunch because they didn't have any toast. And when I was 5 and 6, I always thought that was because they'd forgotten their lunch. But it was actually because they didn't have any lunch, because their parents couldn't afford to bring them lunch, to give them lunch. That got worse when I went from 5 to when I went to 10. That's worse now. That school's finally being rebuilt. It's taken a while. But it's those kids, it's those families that aren't going to get the extra $20 a week from that. Those are the kids that need the help. They need the minimum wage increase. They need their lives to be made better by a government that cares for them, that has a vision for the future that includes all New Zealanders getting a better go. It doesn't necessarily mean that those top people are going to get as much as they have now. But it means that all of those people below them, all the people that, pack your groceries at the supermarket, that you will be able to buy with values, because that means you'll have more money in your pocket as well when everyone has better wages. It's those kind of things that make things important. It's those kind of reasons why we want to vote Labour, why I want you guys to vote Labour. I won't take up too much more of your time with a very badly prepared speech, and let you guys get to actual questions and ask things.
Speaking of being badly prepared, okay, I mispronounced his name. Okay, that's an amateur mistake for an MC. I'm going to ask you to say your name to me one more time, and next time I'm going to absolutely smash it out of the park, okay? And if I don't, okay, this entire room, blue people included, okay, blue people included, are going to go absolutely nuts for you, okay?
Okay.
How do you say your name?
Mohan Nana Ahirao.
Mohan Nana Ahirao. Great, nailed it. Okay. Good. Okay, let's move this along. Okay, and on the other side, okay, we have ACT, okay, Andy Parkins.
Well, hi everyone. Is that on? Hi everyone. I'm Andy Parkins from the ACT Party. Thanks for having me here. I'd like to take
Mic check. Nailed it.
Starting again. Well, hi everyone. I'm Andy Parkins from the ACT Party, and thanks for having me here. I'd like to begin with a brief look at the free market. A free market provides an abundance of goods to which we are all better off. Everyone has a TV in their home, many have 2 or 3. Everyone has food. In fact, some say we're having an obesity epidemic. And I don't know about you, but I don't see many people walking around with no clothes on either. These are all products that are traded within a free market that is open to the world with very low regulation. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for housing, which is one of the most regulated industries in New Zealand. Every party agrees that it is a housing supply issue, despite New Zealand being a little over 0.5% urbanised. There is one hell of a lot of land and private ownership on which housing is blocked, and that is because of the Resource Management Act. It is ridiculous that the same rules that apply here apply in Fiordland, which absolutely, by the way, should stay, also apply here in suburbia. The others say they'll need to override it to complete their goals anyway, so why does everyone else miss out just so they can win an election? And that's why ACT will scrap the RMA and let people start building. ACT will also give half the GST and all construction costs to the council that consents to build to pay for infrastructure to connect the house up. But they won't come past the front gate, because building inspections will be taken up by insurance companies, doing away with council inspections, and finally allow penetration of the almost total monopoly on building products in our market. Keep government out, free up land, pay for infrastructure, and lowering the cost of building materials. That's what builds houses. Another heavily regulated industry in New Zealand that is failing is education. We have 360,000 people between 18 and 24, and a quarter of those, which is about 90,000 people, are not in education, employment or training. We invest on average of $180,000 per kid, and if you think of a single other industry where an acceptable result from spending that kind of money, let alone $12 billion, results in a 25% chance of failure, I'd like to hear it because it will ruin the speech. If you'd like to know more about our policies, ask a question today, see me at the end, have a look at act.org.nz, or you can buy David's book. You're all waiting for that, eh? How do you go back?
I don't know about you, but I'm all for finally allowing penetration. Right, okay, now we got 2 minutes from the Maori party. Elijah Pugh, where's it?
Just like to thank PolSoc for inviting me this evening, and just want to put a big mihi out there. This week is Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori, Māori Language Week, so kōrero te tō tātou reo kia ora tātou. I think, I don't want to talk about what we will do in policies, blah blah blah, I think that's boring. But what I will say is we can put aside the politicking that this nation is filled with, national attacking Labour, Labour attacking national, and pretty much everyone else attacking each other. Put that shit aside and just get on with the real mahi that actually counts for our people. And I think we face 3 really important issues, not just this election, and all of a sudden people think that there's issues when elections come around, but our people have faced a number of issues for a number of years, and those are homelessness, poverty, and mental health issues. And I think one of our key policies, I said I wasn't talking about policies, but I will anyway. One of our key kaupapa is whānau oro. And whānau oro is about determining your own future and not having to fit into a box or fill out a form when you go to MSD or WINS or to get support from the government. It's actually changing it so that the government can say, okay, here's me, how can I help you? Not, okay, here's me and all my issues, can you help, yes or no kind of thing. So I think whānau oro is really key, and I think every party should have a whānau oro policy, and I think the way the government is structured now, we should change that whole system so that it's more of a whānau oro approach, and it's based on the issues that whānau actually face in their own right, and not by issues that politicians think they face at all. Kia ora tātou katoa.
That was very quick. Notice that he made an impression. Guys, keep it short. Okay, good. Now, the next party, okay, is the Opportunities Party, or TOP. I don't even like him, okay? Please, ladies and gentlemen, show your appreciation for Sean Stack.
Hey, yeah, I'm Sean, I'm with Opportunities Party. And first thing, has anyone actually been to one of Garrick's roadshows? Because, yeah, put your hands up, because I'm just another law student that thinks they know about politics. But what you actually need to go and do is listen to one of those, because no one that goes walks away thinking that the party doesn't have a plan. You can say that other parties don't have a plan, but then everything is costed. In our society, we have the wealth, but what we're not doing is sharing it around. And we can do that within the market, or we can do it by just hoping that eventually capitalism will collapse, which I'm sure some of us would love. I probably would as well. But I don't think the revolution is going to begin in New Zealand. So what we need to do is institute pragmatic policy that will start moving us towards a more equal New Zealand, instead of just pretending that it's okay that we have 44,000 homeless people, or instead of pretending that we don't know what to do about it, because we do know. There's so much evidence, there's so much research, but it's ignored because it's difficult, or I don't even know really. So go and listen to Garrett. Yeah, that's it basically.
Give it up for the communists. I mean the opportunities part. We have one final 2-minute opening statement, okay? And that is from, I know you've all been waiting for it, I definitely have, okay, from New Zealand First. And Hope Sexton isn't here, which is unfortunate because that is a killer name, okay? So what's the name of the New Zealand First candidate? David Hanna. Okay, good. It would have been good to tell me this beforehand. Reset. New Zealand First candidate, David Hanna.
Hello. So, as many of you probably feel, the picture looks rather bleak at the moment. I mean, we have two parties, neither of which particularly care about people like you and have embarked since the 1980s on an economic experiment that has caused unprecedented inequality and poverty in our society. Fortunately, there's another party that, unlike all the other third parties here, actually has a shot of making it into Parliament. This is a 3-horse race at the moment. And we are a party with 15 fundamental principles, all of which are designed to put New Zealand and New Zealanders first. We don't care what race you are, what gender you are, what religion you are, whether you've been here for thousands of years or whether you came here tomorrow. Yesterday, rather. We think that you, as a New Zealander, whoever you are, deserve to have your interests put first. We believe that we need government that tackles the issues that face us today. Poverty, homelessness, mental health. The fact that many people in this room are probably racking up huge student debts. We have a fully costed plan to help you pay those off. And this is also designed to support people who are already in or already have completed university, not just the ones who will enter university in the future. We're the only party with such a plan, might I add. So this year, go to the ballot box, vote your values, vote for your country, vote New Zealand first. Thank you.
New Zealand first, New Zealand first. Good, good, okay. Now, what happens now? Okay, this is going to be very exciting because they get to talk at length and then they get to rip each other to shreds. Okay, this is why you all came, so let's get excited. Okay, I want to see a bit of enthusiasm. Okay, when you party, the person that you like, they're talking. Okay, they're about to talk. You give them a little bit of love. Okay, you give them a little bit of love, and maybe afterwards, okay, once you've all left, you give them a real little bit of love. Okay, good. First question. What? I heard it all. I don't care. Okay, good. The first question, okay, is for the Greens candidate. Give me a second. I'll give you the mic, okay? So, just to give you a bit of an intro, I'm going to give everybody a little bit of an introduction so that, you know how they fit into the general picture, okay? So, this is Elliot Crossan speaking for the Commie Party, Greens Party, okay? Greens Party, okay? I mean, what a party. Steal from the rich and give to Materia so she can be rich. Let me say, this is going to be equal opportunities offending, so if the Greens had a sense of humor, they'd realize it wouldn't be a problem. And let me tell the Greens, okay? Let me tell the Greens this, okay? James Shaw, what a man. Technically. And the got some great policies, okay? Clean the environment, what a policy, okay? Give a pay rise to people that don't work. Genius policy. Tax the most successful people for bettering themselves. What a great idea. What's not to love? And here's another thing. Okay, they got Chloe Swarbrick on their team. Anybody heard of Chloe Swarbrick? Yeah, that was mainly women. Guys don't give a shit. Okay? She's very attractive. And guess what, guys? You gotta watch out for her, okay? Because Chloe Swarbrick, she's very smart. Okay, she's got a degree in law and philosophy, which just goes to show it doesn't matter what your degree. You can always waste it. Give it up for the man defending theft in the name of the environment. Elliot Ross.
Thank you for the introduction, President Trump. Can I just say a few words about Donald Trump pulling out of the Paris climate change agreement?
I don't pull out of anything.
97% of scientists, as I'm sure most of you know, acknowledge that.
Oh yeah, I need to give you a question. Good point. I haven't given you the question yet. I like this guy. This guy's onto it. Voting party. They know what they're doing. Okay, let me tell you. What kind of details, Elliot, will there be to make sure that farmers will be able to operate efficiently while cleaning up pollution caused by farming? Good spotting.
Okay, so I was just going to talk about Trump pulling out of climate change first. Because climate agreement, climate change is going to cause fires and droughts and floods and extreme weather events like we're seeing in America right now, and it's shameful that the supposed leader of the free world has pulled out of the agreement that we had to stop climate change. So on to farmers. The Green Party absolutely support sustainable farming, and we have a sustainable farmer called John Hart on our list, so if enough people vote Green, we'll get him into Parliament. We absolutely support sustainable farming, but the thing is, farmers are polluting our rivers and ruining our waterways, and that's just not acceptable. So we're the only party saying that we need to have less cows in this country because the cows walking into the river, they are unfortunately destroying the clean green image of New Zealand. We do support sustainable farming though. We will exclude farmers from the carbon tax for the first 5 years, I believe, in order to make sure that farms don't go under. We will support their transition to sustainable farming, but it can be as simple as just putting up a fence next to where the river is. You know, you put up that fence, cows can't walk into the river, and suddenly we don't have pollution and we don't have people dying from drinking polluted water. Is that true?
You've got a minute and a half, but...
Go on then. So we understand that currently farming is the base of our economy, so we're not going to immediately smash farming. It will be a transition, but we will make sure that we diversify the economy away from just farming so that New Zealand can actually support itself in the world. And there are so many different products that we could be producing, such as we could lead the way in clean energy. We can plant 1.2 billion trees in order to eat up climate pollution. Those are just some of the Green Party's climate policies, which you should check out on our website. So we will make sure that farmers are supported in the transition to a clean, green Aotearoa.
This is where it gets interesting because I only have one working microphone. So, we're going to open it up to 4 minutes of open debate. Can you guys project? It's where you talk really loudly so the people in the back can hear you. Say something real loud.
Yeah, so the thing about just...
Okay, 2 seconds. Can you hear that? Can you hear that? Great. Okay, cool. Speak up, all of you. Okay, very loud. I want it to be brutal, verbally only. Okay? 4 minutes starting now. Action.
Putting a fence next to the river to stop the cows going into the river isn't going to save the river. That's ridiculous. And that sometimes the Greens' entire approach to everything they focus on is we've got a really nice set of values, but our values are sort of, we're just really going to hope that it happens. We're going to do nice sounding things. We're not actually going to make an attempt at changing the systems, because it's systems that cause problems. So instead of just putting a fence next to the river, you need to make the person who's polluting through the stuff that's going into the river, you need to make him pay for that. So if you're using nitrate and fertilizer, you make them pay for the nitrate and the fertilizer. You don't think a fence is good enough, but they do. That's the problem, and that's why you shouldn't vote for the Greens. All of their policies are like that. If you're in the Greens, move to top.
Tens of thousands of people, and makes up a huge percent of our GDP. So we can't just go and, what was the term used, bash farming and wait for a new smash. We can't just go smash farming and wait for this green technology to appear, right? We actually need to farm in a sustainable way, and that's what the national government's been investing in over the past 9 years. Private enterprise just feeds thousands of kilometres worth of river. Ontario's now made it a requirement that all dairy farms have fenced around any waterways to make sure people can't get in, otherwise they get cut from Ontario. Federated Farmers is also leading the charge on that. The national government's investing to provide funds for farmers. So yes, we need to progress them towards a more sustainable and a more environmentally friendly way of producing, but we need to do that in a way that doesn't destroy or smash or bash, smash. Smash farming and destroy a big 40 million people out of New Zealand, the most efficient farmers in the world. That's not romance.
You can see it here. The Green Party, it seems, actually hates farmers. It seems like it's true. And let me tell you, most farmers don't actually have, this may seem surprising to the Green Party, but they don't actually have a conscious desire to go mess up our rivers and screw up our environment. Most farmers are actually people who are just as concerned about the welfare of the rest of this country and its ecological environment as the rest of you. Yeah. So let's not try and polarize between urban and rural. Let's not try and divide this country between them. Let's actually acknowledge that, yes, different groups of people in New Zealand do activities that pollute in different ways. I don't think that people who live in urban areas are entirely innocent of such a crime. But this idea of just bashing farmers to appeal to farmers sitting in who are the Green Party's base, I think it's just a...
There's 33 seconds. If you guys are going to cut them off, do it.
I'll take it on a different strategy, if you don't mind. We've worked it out with farmers, that the bashing thing is not going to be a result. There's actually more of an environment than just farmers as well. So, things like bird life and all that sort of thing, it's really important for what we have. So, for example, the National Party want to do a free 2020, unachievable really, especially when they want to...
And that's that. You should have come in earlier. Okay. So far, okay, you can keep your own favorite quotes if you like. Two of mine are, we're not going to smash farmers. Okay, smash. That was the word used. Okay. Try and beat that. Okay, if that's what you're defending yourself against, that's amazing. Okay. Also, New Zealand first asserting that most farmers are people. I like that. That's very good. That's possibly my favorite. Okay, folks, let's move move on, okay, to the national question. Okay, before I hand it on to national, okay, we got to give them a little bit of context. It's got to be fair, great. This is where you get a toot to laugh at somebody else. It's called having a laugh. Who would have thought lefties could have a sense of humor? Okay. It's pretty brutal, by the way, okay, so you're going to enjoy this. Blue team, just, you know, laugh. Just laugh. Let's face it, you'll be victors for the last 9 years. You're kind of killing it anyway. No. Don't forget to be my friend. Nonpartisan. Okay, good. Now, national, okay? The party for ex-lefty students that spent 10 minutes out of university and suddenly realized how the real world works. The party leader, okay, is Bill English. And let me tell you, okay, the only way he could be better is if he was Bill American. Right, Blue Team? Am I right, Smurfs? That's right. I got you. I'm totally right. I'm always right, let's face it. And I mean, he's amazing, okay? What a guy. Okay, he's a self-made millionaire ladies' man. He loves golf. He's got a very sexy wife, even if she is a bit old. No, wait, sorry, that's John Kay. Sorry. No, that's John Kay. Who's the new guy? Oh, Bill English. The man that can destroy a 9-year lead in the polls in 2 weeks just by being himself. Give me some weed later. You can be whoever you want to be. That is incredible advice. That is great advice. Unless you're Bill English, then be someone with a personality. Give it up for the man with the personality of a whiteboard and the looks of a confused alcoholic bus driver. But I'm having the time of my life. Now, Sam, can you name a national policy that will ensure students here today will be able to afford a house in the next 10 years? You have 4 minutes.
Absolutely, there's a whole range of them. So actually, last week, over the weekend, the Prime Minister announced a couple of policies around the Kiwi Bill, the Kiwi Home Start program, which means you get more access to funds. You have more access to funds if you're a first home buyer. So the exact number slips my mind, but I think it's $10,000 if you're moving into a new property, and it increases if you're buying a new build. So it incentivises the market to create more new build houses because there's extra money available. And that's building on a program that's already existed, where you can tap into your KiwiSaver to pull money out for the deposit, and the government will also help you out with some grants and some loans to get your deposit together. So that's almost kind of the purchasing side and getting your deposit together, which I totally admit will be, it's hard work for young people, and it should be a bit of work, but we're just making it that little bit easier. If we look at that towards the supply side, the national government's invested billions of dollars into opening up special housing areas, into opening up crown land for more development of properties, and into developing this infrastructure fund. And what the infrastructure fund does is provide really low-cost loans and grants to councils, so they can build roads, they can build water pipes, they can build electric, they can build gas, and they can build essentially all you need to build a development, which is quite often the biggest barrier to getting a development in, because that initial cost is too high for councils and they don't have the numbers to the money to leverage off. So there's a number of things happening there on the supply side and on the demand side for us, supporting young people in the homes and making it just that little bit easier. So you still need to work, you still need to go hard, you need to scrimp and save, but you'll still be able to get that deposit together, which I think is really exciting for us young people who will then be able to go purchase a home, a new build or an already built one.
Okay, this is 4 minutes of debate, okay? He didn't use his full time, so I get to explain this to you very carefully, okay? Cut each other off, that's what makes it interesting, okay? Do you understand? Be loud, make sure the people at the back can hear you, okay? You have 4 minutes, any of you can start, and we're going now.
Yes, how do you plan to make such housing available with the 70,000 people coming in every year? Oh, that's really right. Less than 1% of the housing costs is attributable to immigration. That is why.
The reason why we have such a fucked housing market is because someone like John Key can make $5 million from buying a house in Auckland, doing nothing to it, and selling it. And that happens because he wasn't paying any tax on it. If he put that money in the bank, he pays tax. If he rents the house to someone, he pays tax. Our whole system is set up to incentivize people just buying houses and sitting on it, and that money doesn't go to anything else. If that money wasn't sitting in a $20 million mansion for our Prime Minister, then that money would be in businesses employing us. And then we'd actually be able to afford to buy it.
It's very nice that Tom thinks students after 10 years are going to be able to afford $20 million mansions.
I never said that, mate.
So that's $20 million mansion, something that students can buy over 10 years. Now, the biggest question about housing is all these houses that National Council are going to build, none of them are going to be affordable. Very few of them will be affordable. Very few of them will be affordable. Okay, we're going to do this. Labour's plan is to build 100,000 affordable homes over the next 10 years. That's houses that people will actually be able to reasonably look at like, and yes, it will be work. Yes, it's not going to be easy. You're not going to walk out of uni, work for you.
Why is it always affordable when Nationals are where it's essentially the same policy? You're stolen from each other.
Why doesn't Labour just adopt Top's tax policy and that would literally fix it? Like, that would,
So, we have announced all of our policies. There is one policy we have said there's one policy we have said that we are not necessarily going to be able to be 100% transparent with one staff. We don't necessarily know what the expert's going to tell us. So the answer to the question is, and that may mean that we have to spend some time on it. That may mean you can't hear when you people from that far back, by the way. It may mean that we have to put together a working group, but what we have said is that if we're working... Okay, well, you can go...
The question that was asked was asking, will young people be able to afford houses in 10 years' time? Well, I'm going to be 29 years old by then, and I think most of us will struggle in the next 10 years to be able to afford houses. So why are these parties not talking about rents right now? The Green Party will restrict rent rises. We will make a good rental market system so that everybody can live in a warm, dry home now, not in 10 years' time. And we will implement a capital gains tax to calm down the speculation in the housing market.
Capital gains tax.
The issue here isn't about rent, it's about lack of houses just available for people to rent, full stop. And so what the Maori Party are going to do, we'll build 120,000 houses in Auckland, 60,000 of which will be social housing. But even before that, we're going to ensure that those people that are building those houses are part of the Maori.
And that's enough. That's enough. Thank you. Okay. The only problem with building 100,000 homes in Auckland is that at the end of it, you have to live in Auckland. Just saying. Okay, good. We've got our next question. Okay, this is for Mohan Nana Akira. You happy with that? Okay, good. Now, bit of context. Context is very important. Greens, you're going to like this. Okay? Actually, Blue, you're probably going to like this. Greens, you're going to go back to not having a sense of humor. Which is 75% of the time. And 25% of the time they do their high, so whatever. Next up we have Labour. Okay, led by Jacinda Ardern, the woman that will make Winston Peters tea when he's Prime Minister. I've felt the room, and I don't care what you think. It's Labour. It's the party for students. Yeah. And other people that don't matter. Alright, I'll win you back. Good. Okay, seriously though. Okay, give it up for a female leader. Give it up for a female leader. Female leader is someone I can get behind. If I close my eyes and she keeps her mouth shut. yourself, okay, whatever, I don't care. What did you expect when you booked me for this? Okay, you students, have an open mind. Labour wants to introduce a gender quota, okay, 50-50 men, women. My ideal quota is 1 man to 49 women. And they would all be sexy and have normal sized teeth. So, every single person in this room has made a joke at my expense about my appearance at some point in the past. Okay? And it was very, very hurtful. It was a terrible thing to say. But I took it like a man, because that's the kind of guy I am. So give it up for the man that wants to suck text as hard as Dracula sucks as a book. Keep your enthusiasm going while I fix his microphone. And now for your question. I'm literally just said. You may have noticed that his microphone broke, young lady. With a broken microphone, you're not going to be able to hear his answer. So here's the part where me and everybody else in the room by proxy tells you to shut up. Okay. Here's your question. For the increases in funding mental health proposed by Labour, is this really an issue that can be solved by just throwing money at it?
So before I answer that question, I'd like to point out that, as many of you probably know, we're all guys, and you, in your thing about it, decided that you would hit on, both metaphorically and literally, hit on the only female leader that we've got in here, with the exception of Fox. And I think if you wonder, as a group and as you, why there aren't more women stepping on politics, it's this kind of shit. If they're going to stand up and say, I'm ready to lead the country, I think I've got a vision, I've got an idea, and they're a smart, capable woman, that shouldn't result in anything other than them being taken for that. And for you to stand here and start talking about your teeth is utterly ridiculous. Now, to your question about mental health, we're not just throwing
I'm going
money.
to stop you there. Do you want your 4 minutes to deal with your issue? I respect what you've just said. Do you want 4 minutes to answer your question? You've got 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay.
So to answer your question about our mental health policies, they're not just throwing money at the problem. We're actually trying things with money, because you don't just throw money at a problem. You have a plan about things. Not just values, you have a plan. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into... I saw that. What we're going to do is we're going to go into those areas of high need, go into Christchurch. We're also going to go into the secondaries. We're going to get a nurse on site in every secondary school in this country, so that all of those high school students that go through tough times, because we all did when we were in high school, we all probably still do now, they have access to the help they need. And we're also going to, because we know that's not necessarily going to fix problems, we're also going to, in our first 100 days, launch an investigation or an inquiry into our mental health provisions, so we can figure out how best to spend the rest of the money we want to put into it. Because the fact is, mental health is mental health is a very big problem in New Zealand, and it's 606 shoes outside Parliament. It's not good enough. We're not just throwing money at the problem.
I can read a room. You don't like me. Luckily, I don't like you either. So, we are going to resume. No, we're not. We're going to reset this. Okay, 4 minutes of open warfare. I want it to be brutal like before, because that was very interesting. Okay, we got 4 minutes of open reply starting now.
I'm just going to start because I got cut off last time. What I will say is that I don't think we can rely on the government to really do anything for us in terms of mental health. What we can do is rely on the community, and we're going to invest in community mental health providers, and alongside the nurses in schools, also put counsellors in schools, because not every school has a counsellor. And we're going to invest in the community, because that's where the heart of the issue is. We can't sit in Wellington and make all these policies up and do all these inquiries and these working groups, blah, blah, blah. Let's get into the community, let's understand what the issues are, and put the money into the community.
We had the wonderful Dr. Mike Kenny actually come and speak at our party convention this year. He echoed a lot of those sentiments. This stuff really does start at home with the family. And the other thing that's very important
is that we need to consult experts on this issue. We need to consult doctors on this issue. We cannot, what we're doing now is consulting ministers and politicians. That is not a way that we fix this problem.
And that's why you vote top, because we've consulted the experts and we've got the evidence, and what the problem is again, it's systemic stuff. It's not about putting like nurses and stuff in schools, great idea, but what you actually need to realise is that there are reasons why rates of mental health are disproportionately higher in poor areas. If you address poverty, you will address some of the impacts of mental health. And I'm sure there'll be some people sitting in here that have been ridiculously poor at some points in their life. And when you're really, really poor for a really, really long time, you lose hope. And then when you've got no hope and you see society ignoring you, you walk down the street and you'll get driven past by 3 Audis or something. And then meanwhile, you don't have enough money to put on your Snapper card to get to work. That's what the problem is. It's just like more of the same stuff of just, we're going to put a little bit more funding here. We're not actually going to address the fact that in our society, we have an underclass that is getting bigger and bigger, and those people are the ones who are suffering. Well, there's an upper class
I'd like to echo what Tom said on this issue. We want to end poverty, and the Green Party are the only party with a specific plan to end poverty. We're going to raise all benefits by 6%.
Everyone here is anti-poverty.
Ending poverty
national and international program to invest in EU and community groups. And it's got a $300 million package to essentially do this social investment approach on mental health. And that's been fantastic. It means that community groups that are based in the areas where there's high interest in mental health systems are actually going to find it, not a bureaucrat here in Wellington. So we're putting it back on the people that know best. And I totally agree with that. It's not about working groups or a committee to get together. It's about getting the money and support to the people in the community so they can actually sit out and help out with their needs. So it's a lot of fun.
Are the only ones with a specific plan. We're going to make counselling services free for everybody under the age of 25. I don't care anything that bold or progressive from any of the other parties. We will actually take
And that's that. There's 2 real exciting things about this, okay? Seeing a room full of people, young people, okay, that really care about the political state of their country, that is very exciting to me. That is very, very exciting to me. The second most exciting thing are the quotes in this debate. And so far, in that one, not so good. Except for New Zealand firsts, everyone here is anti-poverty. Well done, Captain Obvious. We come to the ACT Party, okay? The ACT Party, okay? Here we go. Here we go, okay? You guys excited about this? You should be. It's going to be amazing, okay? Because ACT is a one-man party. And when you're looking at David Seymour, you can see why. Who needs rings when you've got the free market, the complete Gilmore Girls, a packet of ham, and a hollowed-out watermelon? He's just put out a book, On Your Future. Hold it up. There we go. On Your Future, okay? I've never read a book, and if I had, it would be one of my own. I'm sure it's really good if you like being very, very well informed about a party that you're never going to vote for. Now, ACT put forward the End of Life bill, which is what Nationals leader will do if he loses for the second time in a row. Oh, that's a bit cutting, Blue. Deal with it. Winston Peters called David Seymour a chihuahua, and he had a point. He's small, vocal, and effectively a castrated puppet with the face of an arrogant turtle. I like this. I put that in there, okay? I put that in there not as a joke, because I'm better than that, okay? I put that in there to see if it was equal, okay? I make fun of a chick, it's not okay. I make fun of a guy, it's also not okay. I like you guys. Green's not so much, but you guys. Give it up for the guy who would willingly kill old people if they asked him to. Your question, Andy, with the Auckland housing crisis, kids sleeping in cars, and rising homelessness, is now a good time for the tax cuts Ant has proposed? You have 4 minutes.
Well, absolutely, because we can actually fix the housing crisis as well as issuing tax cuts, and I'm not the only party here on the stage that also believes that. The housing market is fundamentally caused by the RMA, and this has been something that we've been saying for about 20-something years, 21 years I think, and only in the last 6 months or so has 3 other parties on the stage picked up that and incorporated that as part of their housing policy. So if that's not evidence enough that we're on the right track, you know, I don't know what more to give you really. But we're going to take that and we're also going to give half the GST back on housing, on the construction of housing, which will really incentivise councils to start consenting properties. To give you an example of that is about $500,000 bill would give roughly, I think it's about $50-something thousand back to the council. So if you've ever seen a council, or I'm not sure how many of you in here would have probably gone down that path, but it is incredibly difficult to get consent for a house. It can take 6 months to a year to be able to do that. That's just not acceptable. Meanwhile, councils are always after more money and consistently increase rates all the time. So how do we take those 2 things that we know and make them work together? So that's part of our, that's our reasoning behind why we would give half the GST on construction costs back to the council. The third part of that is taking out the council inspections on housing. This is another process where the council get involved, and because they have nothing to gain by being a fast and efficient process, they're not a fast and efficient process. Whereas we know that insurance companies are, and they are basically a key part of how many of the buildings that we already have are inspected is by insurance companies. And so we just need to take that policy and we're going to apply that to housing as well. So insurance companies obviously have a vested interest that the houses are going to fall over. They're not going to lower any building standards or anything like that. But they do have an incentive because of profit to make it the most efficient process as possible. So that's sort of our housing policy. I forgot the first part of the question.
The Auckland housing crisis, kids sleeping in cars and rising homelessness is now at the top of the tax cuts as proposed.
Yeah, so that's our housing part of it. And we can do all of these things, and they don't actually cost the taxpayer any money, unlike any of the other policies that you've got on the stage, which require, whether it's a government build, whether it's an accommodation supplement or something like that. All of these things are solved by the people that actually own land already, that are these so-called rich pricks that have land. But hey, they do have land, and let's start building on it. So that's the part of it. So because of that not having any cost, we are able to pay for that and still have the tax cuts that we propose. So which is someone on the medium income, they will stand to gain about $1,000 per year, and that's on top of the tax cuts that are already offered under the national government.
All right, let's do this. We are going to have 3 even minutes of open verbal warfare. Are you excited? Yeah. Okay, you're going to have to be way better than that for this to continue. Okay, good. Okay, we've got 3 minutes. Okay, you ready? Starting. 1, 2, 3, go.
Right, you can absolutely give people tax cuts, but you need to give the right people tax cuts. So what you do is you do what Tom's doing. You give wage earners a 30% tax cut, and then you put up the taxes on people who own $20 million mansions. Because then, people like us, and it's not even really about us, it's about people who see the dream of owning a home as so far gone now that to them it's meaningless. To us, we're all in a university, we probably will get to own a house. Some people don't even have that hope. They're paying tax, and it's ridiculous. Like, you can put... sorry, anyway, move on. My opinion now. Tax cuts for wage earners, tax people who are land banking. It's very easy. It will sort out a lot of problems.
How does taking GST off food sound? Because right now, a bottle of milk will cost the same for this chap here as it will for someone who's poor and struggling. Take GST off food, if we're talking about tax cuts, that was where I would start.
Yeah. Totally wrong with our society, where the top 10% of New Zealanders has 4 times as much wealth as the bottom half of the population. That is an absolutely ridiculous figure that shows how unequal New Zealand is, and that is not the climate for tax cuts, which National Top and ACT are all operating. We will put a capital gains tax to reduce property speculation. We will put a carbon tax to reduce our carbon emissions. We will create a 40% tax bracket for those earning $150,000. We will use that money to fund upland against poverty and fund our public services underfunded by this national government, which only cares about tax cuts for the rich.
We really appreciate the Greens focus on the $20 a week tax cut, which is a little bit of a fabulous package in this year's budget. Thank you to the Greens for that.
So those tax cuts that the Nats are promising you to kick in from the 1st of April next year are not necessarily what's best for this country. It's not what we think is what's best for this country. What Labour is going to do, instead of giving people those tax cuts, we're going to put that money and we're going to put it to restoring funding to healthcare. We've got a hospital in New Zealand that's falling apart, needs to be rebuilt, it needs to be rebuilt faster than it was. It needs to be rebuilt faster than that's going to rebuild it, because it's actually gone backwards in country, because they're going to get it over the 3 years if that's not happening. It'll take them 9 years if it's only taken 3 years to fail with building a hospital. We're going to restore education funding so that we have better teachers, we have more teachers, and we have teachers that are more trained for things in the country.
That's that. Thank you. Right, next up we come to the Maori Party, represented by Elijah Pue. I'd like to apologize for pronouncing his name incorrectly. The amount of time that I had to prep for this was minimal. And plus it doesn't help when people back up as they're sick or whatever. Okay. I'm not blaming that on you. Your name was always on the list. I was just lazy. Okay. Now we come to the Maori Party, or the New Zealand Mexican Party, as I prefer more accurately to call them. This is what I like. It was a joke. It was a joke. He understood it was a joke. He may not be okay with it, but he said it was a joke. Greens, it's not okay. Who was the joke? Oh, this guy's obviously the guy that can make a judgment on humor. You're the next Louis C.K. Look at him, okay? Jimmy Carr sitting over at the end of the table. Maybe you should host the next one, okay, buddy? Your joke sucks. So does your party. Okay. I think that it's great, okay, that this party wants to get their language back on the map, and I think it's a shame that it started to fall by the wayside. Now, I don't know who Terry O is, but he must be important, because they all want to speak to him. Now, I love this party. I've seen some of their representatives on TV, and Marama Fox, okay, is a real firebrand, okay? Exactly, what a woman, okay, what a woman. And I've never seen anyone like her, okay? Apparently there's a male co-leader, but unlike the Greens, they don't pretend that he matters. He's secretly like that. Now, here we go, Elijah Pue. I'm going to give you a question in a second. Let's do this, okay? Party time. If the Maori Party were given more ownership rights on land, such as a complete reversal of the Maori Foreshore and Seabed Act, would that mean cleaner rivers and a cleaner environment in the near future? 4 minutes.
I think there are a number of issues that face the environment, and while the foreshore and seabed was one of the hugest land confiscations outside of the Treaty of Waitangi by the Labour Party, might I just say. I think that in terms of, I personally don't think that a repeal of the Portia and Seabed Act is going to make our rivers okay. I mean, what's a bill repeal, an act repeal going to do for anyone, to be honest? But what I will say is that we've worked with the National Party and Dr. Nick Smith, the Minister for the Environment, on what's called Te Mana o Te Wai. Te Mana o Te Wai is restoring rivers, and we've worked on a number of rivers. The two that I can remember, the one that I can remember I should say, is the Horowhenua, and recently we announced that we've put in $980,000 with the local iwi there to clean up the river, and that's what I think we need to do, and that's what I was saying before, is that we cannot rely on the government to do everything. We need to invest in our community and our own people to take care of our own rivers.
Okay, people, let's do this. Who's excited? I'm excited. This is where it gets brutal. Oh, thank you. Good save. Okay, right. It'd be great to have somebody do this for me, but it's a student thing. Okay. I used up the entire budget. I'm very rich. Okay. Right. Okay. You have open debate for 4 minutes, starting. 1, 2, 3, action. Off to a real good start.
The Green Party are really proud that we have been standing with the Maori Party in demanding te reo in schools. I think te reo in schools, mandatory te reo in schools, because it is one of the main languages of this country. Maori and Tamil. The main language, yes, sorry. And we will make fully learn the language and will know how to speak the language of the people who first inhabited this country.
I'll just pipe up the accusation with the fact that I would just like to point that you guys may or may not have seen in the debate, the TV3 debate. In the TV3 debate, Jacinda said if she was in that same shoes, she wouldn't have done it. And I can tell you now, there were a lot of people in the Labour Party at that time and now that feel the same way.
Tariana Turi was one of them.
Yeah.
Only one that did something about it.
Yeah. But, so, all I would say is, our leader now has said that if she put in that same shoes, she would have made that call. And I think going forward, if for some reason it gets repealed and then the bill ends up back at Parliament again, we would have made that mistake.
Well, I won't hold my breath.
So the Opportunities Party, sorry, just so we can have some actual policy, the Opportunities Party wants to give, well, basically honour Article 2 of the treaty, which means that Māori do have customary rights to control over the rivers. Part of TOP's whole thing is putting a price on water that is being, because when you think about it, it's our river, but some people are making money off the river, either through polluting it or through taking the water. Māori should own some of that river. They can't own all of it. Well, so if you go onto TOP's website, look at their clean water policy, there's going to be two different systems. There'll be a system where you'll have a fully allocated water catchment. In a situation like that, Māori will get a direct cash payment. When there is like spare water in the catchment, then that is theirs to do with what they want. They absolutely, if we were honouring the treaty completely, then basically Māori would have most of the country back, which people have different opinions on that.
What's your opinion?
My opinion is that I actually really do trust Māori people to do what they've been doing so far, and there's actually far better faith in Europeans that
That's a good save. That's a good save.
Well, I'd say starting with a few rivers and then ending up with the entire land.
They owned it at the start, I guess. No, let's be clear here. If you're really going to honour Article 2, Māori own water, yeah? Yeah. And who owns fucking sorry. They have a conversation with the people that were here first before we got colonised by the white people. Let's be fucking honest
people. It's needed to live. It's something that belongs to all of us because we'll die without it. You try to and see how far that is.
That's enough. That is enough. This is what I'm talking about. Sheer brutality. Okay, so let's talk. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Hey, notice the part where I'm the MC and I tell you when to shut up. Good. Now, here's the thing. Okay, there was a great quote in there. Last time, not so good. This time, great. Okay, and Elijah, this is your quote. Okay. We gotta get fucking sorry. And let's be fucking honest about this. You owned it. I liked it. You know, you owned it the second time. That's good. That's what I want to see. Okay, if you're gonna swear, do it fucking properly. Good job, buddy. Okay, let's hear it from the TOP party, which has TINY poll rating. They took us to court to be here today. We let it in. Because I'm a very nice guy. I'm a very nice guy. Okay, Gareth Morgan is a very smart guy that can recognize an opportunity. He saw an opportunity to burn $1.5 million on an unelectable political party with a terrible name. He's a genius. You can get me back on that one later. I'm looking forward to it. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you this joke. See, it's just about what he wears. It's not about his face. Are you okay with that? Okay, good. I have permission from Gareth Morgan's son. I'm I was remiss. I didn't get that permission before. I'm doing it now. Okay, Gareth Morgan. Okay, not many of you know. Okay, but Gareth Morgan is the 1970s chopper motorbike riding member of the YMCA. He always will be to me. And it's a shame that he gave up on his vastly incredible music career to become an economist. That is a real waste. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the guy that has taken enough of my shit and also hates cats, Sean Smith. Yeah, clap again because the top of the mic. Yeah! So, Sean, oh boy, am I excited about this. Okay. TOP says it wants to reduce harm caused by cannabis by fully legalizing cannabis, even allowing people to grow it at home. How does easier access reduce supposed harm caused by cannabis? You have 4 minutes.
Okay, so first thing to clarify is that TOP isn't in favour, and I'm going to treat the question seriously because I think it's serious. So first thing is that TOP isn't for like commercial legalisation, which is what's happening in Colorado and stuff, where it's just left open to companies to come in and try and make as much money as possible off weed. What TOP is for is recognising that people are already smoking a lot of weed in New Zealand, and that's putting people in contact with some unsavoury individuals. Which they shouldn't have to be in contact with. And so what TOP wants to do is they want to legalise marijuana, but it's sort of sold by community trusts. That all the money that from selling the DAC will go into all the money from selling the cannabis will go into education, rehabilitation, and treatment. We're going to put the age at 20, even though the evidence, so this policy is evidence informed, not fully evidence based, because there's not actually really enough evidence about the particular type of legalisation that TOP wants to do. But basically there's no point in treating roughly 40% of the country like they're criminals when they're just doing something that most politicians fucking smoke weed, for God's sake. They all admit it, but none of them actually have the balls to change it. But they're the ones that don't get caught. They're not the ones who are going to prison because they got caught with some weed or someone dobbed them in or something like that. It's not them, it's not us. We can all get away with smoking weed, it's fine, no one cares. But there's a lot of people in our society who, if they get caught with weed, for them that is the end of them. They've got a criminal conviction, they can't get a job, and then as a society we pay for that, for them doing something which probably a lot of people
Are you finished?
Yep.
Great. Good. Okay. I enjoyed that. That was good. Okay. Now, this is going to get real brutal, okay? Because you're here. This is going to be fun. I'm excited about this. He called him chat before, which I thought was a ballsy move. I appreciated it. Okay, let's see where this guy's use of the English language takes him this time. Okay, we got, oh wow, what the hell? Sometimes it sucks being 70, I can't see my phone properly. There we go. Okay, sure. I'm losing you very slowly. Wait for it. Okay. Open debate. Go.
All right, so if you want a referendum on legalizing cannabis, we'll give you one, and that can be up to the public to decide. But I'd also say, don't vote on this issue. Don't make this the one issue that you think about when you go into the ballot box.
Too late.
A lot of politicians think young people don't really think about much more than druggies. Our Prime Minister thinks that you're all drugged up, and that therefore we need to import other people to replace you because you're too drugged up to work. Don't give them the satisfaction of he said it. That's his own word. Don't give them the satisfaction of confirming in his mind that you are just a bunch of stupid young druggies. You're the youth of the greatest country in the world. And go on and prove that with you vote.
But it is a policy that you are really interested in. But you still want a government where our economic path is actually still on the right track. Most of the national MPs are... So if you want a voice on the right, but you also want, if this is an issue for you, maybe you should consider ACT, because all of our top 10 all agree that it should be legalised. Yeah, but you're just going to open up to companies, and then we're going to have people making money off people just getting stoned. It's not, ACT is just, here, do it.
Your policy is the same on George Soros.
As sure most of you know, alcohol is more addictive and more harmful than cannabis. It's not a very harmful drug in the grand scheme of things, and people should be going to prison for it. It is dangerous in very large quantities. It can damage people's brains, especially young people. And so that means we need to treat it as a health problem, not a criminal problem. We need to find rehabilitation. Portugal has legalized cannabis, and the very small number of people who use cannabis now get the help they need. So vote green to legalize cannabis.
Actually, it is. It is very harmful, especially to Maori people. No, it's harmful if you smoke 1 joint or 10 joints. It's harmful.
Yeah.
So what
scientifically proved.
Right. Okay. So what I will say is that we believe we need to have a conversation about decriminalising marijuana. But as you all know, it does have harmful effects against people, and especially for our Maori people, which, as you all probably assume, is that we're the highest users in the country, and we actually are. So what I will say is that let's not ignore this. It is very harmful, and things like synthetic cannabis are even more harmful to our people. So we should have the conversation so that the black market doesn't start up, and we let our companies sell it to people who don't actually need it, and everyone ends in prison for breaking the rules. So Jeremy's going to
started moving towards opening up for medicinal cannabis and medicinal marijuana, which is fantastic because we want to get drugs to people that actually need them and that's going to provide support to them. We agree that marijuana is a harmful substance, just like smoking, just like alcohol. And if we're trying to reduce alcohol and smoking, why should we then legalize and essentially have to endorse medicinal cannabis? So we do take a policy-based approach to this that makes sense, that reduces risk.
Thank you. That's great. That's the kind of debate I've been waiting for all day. This is amazing. Okay, could you just watch those two like bitch fight it out? Next we've got, yeah, you agree with me. Okay. Next we've got New Zealand first. Okay, New Zealand first in what? Distance from civilization, inability to sound like normal human beings. I don't know, take your pick. It's incredible, by the way, it is amazing to me that New Zealand first has a youth win. I thought you'd be at least in your 50s. Amazing, okay? I saved this joke till last because this is probably the last one I'm going to tell, okay? So I saved it till last because I thought you would have built up some kind of resistance. I'm not sure about you, but everybody else, it's a good humor, okay? I'm not sure if you'll get it. There we go. Call Winston Peters what you like. The man has huge balls. Okay, he's with me so far. If Winston Peters was a little more flexible, he'd just be the last in a long line of pensioners sucking him off. Steve Bannon. That was good. Secretly, you enjoyed that. Now, here to take me down to Chinatown, because I'm a chap, according to him. That was a ballsy move. Okay. It's David Hanna. Here you go, buddy. Here's your question. That's very gracious, clapping for your opponent. Okay. Oh, crap. I got rid of the clock. I hate being 70. I can't see anything. Okay. Look very good for my age. Now, David Hanna, here's your question. New Zealand first wants the minimum wage raised to $20. Will this now harm small businesses which employ students, therefore more likely to drive students out of a job? You have 3 minutes.
No, it will not. That's the argument that we're often told by a lot of neoliberal economists with their bow ties on. No, we have a plan to eventually lower taxes for small businesses and to make it easier for them to employ more people on the minimum wage. We believe the minimum wage should be raised to 20 because, well, we believe that you have the right, if you're working to earn enough to live, to have a basic, decent life. It's a fundamental human right. So that's why we support raising the minimum wage. And we also know that mass immigration pushes down wages. So it's true. It's an undeniable fact that mass immigration pushes down wages and is used as a weapon against low earners.
Bullshit!
And we are the only party that is taking a stance against the completely reckless mass immigration policy that this government has. I haven't heard that one before.
Can we just let him speak? That's like adult screens, Jesus.
No, we're not against immigrants. We're against reckless immigration policy that is designed to punish the poor in this country, and quite frankly, it needs to stop, and we're the only party that will do it. So vote New Zealand first if you want an end to these ridiculous neoliberal policies that are being brought in.
You done? Okay, you ready for this? Oh man, this is the best one. Save the best till last. Who's excited? I'm fucking excited, okay? We got 4 minutes. Okay, Grinch, you ready? You're going to enjoy this. 3, 2, 1, action. Let's do this.
Disgusted about the scapegoating of immigrants for current crises that we face, which are the result of underfunding of public services and bosses not paying their workers enough money as a result of government policy. We also believe in raising the minimum wage to $20, but we are not going to be racist about it, unlike New Zealand first.
There's two politically correct to actually point out a very important problem. We're not I must make this very clear. We're not scapegoating immigrants. We are attacking reckless policies that the government has brought in. No. It's not scapegoating. Look, I totally
in hate crimes, racist hate crimes. Look at what happened with Brexit and our dear President Trump.
I have complete respect for anyone who uproots themselves and moves themselves to this country. If anyone who does that is a completely courageous, and whoever does that is a completely courageous person. But
courageous.
Our immigration policy.
Courageous.
No, look, you're just too scared to address the problem.
Too scared. That's you always complain when you're
But the question was actually about the minimum wage.
This is a
Sorry, the minimum wage is a wage that is meant to be set at the bottom. It's not a target that employers should be looking to pay people because that's the cheapest labour they can get. It should be there at the bottom to say you're not allowed to pay more. But if we're paying them that much, they should be able to live. They should be able to buy food and have a house over their head. And, you know, buy food and have a house over their head. Probably something else like a bed. Sorry. But they can't do that in Auckland Central. You can't do that if you're a student in Auckland. You can't do that if you're working full-time because it's not possible. That's why Labour's got a policy to raise the minimum wage to $16.50 an hour. Yes, it may not be as much as our friends over here. We are still friends. It may not seem like it.
But friend for a bowl of government.
But
raise the minimum wage year on year, ahead of inflation. So we're actually increasing the minimum wage at a reasonable amount, so it doesn't just take employers by surprise. Because you know what's going to happen if you raise it irrationally? If you raise it randomly tomorrow morning, employers are going to cut those wages.
So what living wage is what you need to survive, and the Green Party will allow workers to actually live.
So what's going to happen? Is you're going to see an employee who's on $22 an hour demanding that it's $5 up. So they're now going to be on what, $27? So what you want to see is and here's the relation on this side. They want to see unemployment higher in this country. They want to rationally and randomly raise the wage to what the employers can't get.
Alright, now speak!
About minimum wage and stuff, I just want to quickly say Opportunity Party has a policy that...
And we're done. I do like you, Gareth Morgan Jr., but you get a minute at the end. You can chuck it in there if you like. Okay, so we're now up to closing statements. You've missed the whole thing. The whole thing. Hey, turn around and leave right now. No, okay, so we're now going to have the closing statements. Everybody has 1 minute to talk about whatever they like. If they want to rip into each other, let's face it, that would be the most entertaining. Before we get to that, I want to say one thing. I've had an amazing time emceeing this today, and I want to say that I have very much respected the way that you dealt with the things that you did not like that I said. You did not boo, you hissed a little bit, but enough to be manageable. But you made known your dislike by not giving me good stuff back. And so I changed my attitude. I think that free speech is very important. You're in a place where that should be celebrated. I really, really am very proud to be emceeing this debate today. I've had a fantastic time. Thank you for calling me out and giving me your opinions. Thank you for correcting me on the pronunciation of your name. I hope you've enjoyed your time tonight. And now for closing statements. From the Greens, Elliot Franklin. 1 minute.
I believe it should be fairly obvious why the government needs to change. National have failed Aotearoa for 9 years and deserve to be kicked out of power for it. There are only two parties here committed to changing the government, the Greens and Labour. Neither NZ First, nor Maori, nor TOP will rule out working with the National Party in propping up Bill English as Prime Minister. Why then should you give your party vote to the Greens over Labour? We are leaders. Climate change and clean water are only on the agenda because of the Green Party. Our social policies are stronger, bolder and more comprehensive than Labour's. They have a commitment to measure child poverty. We have a plan to end poverty in this country. They have nice rhetoric. We have policies that will mend the safety net, end poverty in this country, clean up our rivers, and tackle climate change, and deliver te reo in schools. Vote to kick National out this election, and vote Green for a government as progressive as possible.
Next, we are going to hear from national candidate Stan. 1 minute.
I think I just got promoted to candidate. So I just wanted to touch this. We're actually going to do everything the Greens are going to do. We're going to be lifting children out of poverty. We're going to be fixing climate change. We're going to be growing the economy, and we're going to be protecting our people. We're going to be dealing with those social issues. We're going to do it in a way that's not reckless, and we're doing it in a way that keeps driving our country forward, which is so important. We've got through the GFC, we've got through the Christchurch earthquake. Now's not the time to waste that. We're back in surplus, and it's not time to throw that away. We can't risk it on an 11 billion fiscal hole. We can't let that happen. We're going to as with the coalition partners, the Maori Party hats, it's probably not there anymore, but that's okay. And we're going to keep moving this country forward towards a brighter and brighter future, which I'm really proud to see and keep developing under the leadership of now Bill English and in the past John Key. So it's really exciting to be here tonight. Thank you all for having us, and make sure you vote either way, preferably national, but make sure you vote.
Next, we are going to hear from Labour not candidate. You're correct. I called you the wrong thing. It's going to be a very long time before this guy gets promoted. Sure, get over yourselves. Whatever. I don't care. Okay, Labour not candidate. Whatever the hell you want to be called. Moyanana Anga.
Yeah, thanks. I'm not a candidate. Jeff Simmons is up. So, defeated one night and sitting in an audience and they're 12 days after an election. So, the Nats have had 9 years. They have had healthcare underfunded, they've had education go backwards. Labour has a plan in 12 days' time to deliver a better future for all New Zealanders, one that looks after the next generation, one that means that our hospitals are well funded, one that means that you're not stuck on a waiting list for years on end. One that means that your education is great, and one that is fully costed and doesn't have an $11.7 billion hole because no recognised economist actually says so. And so, as I said at the start, at some point over the next 2 weeks, go to the hub, cast a vote. As Sam said, I prefer it to be for the Labour Party, but cast your vote. Just do it.
Right, next we have Andy Parkins from ACT. You have 1 minute.
Scattered applause.
Well, thanks again for coming, everyone, and I hope you got the value from this event that you came for. And congratulations for switching off to this orange election man, the orange man, and switching on to the orange election man. ACT's fundamental value is that of personal responsibility, liberty, and choice. ACT stands for encouraging productivity while maintaining the safety net is just that, and believing that your money is better off in your pocket than spending propping up corporates. ACT stands for allowing people to build on their own land to provide housing that New Zealand needs without being caught up in excessive red tape, and incentivising council to do their part in this process. Because we're all an electorate, every party vote counts, and if you like what you hear, you share our vision for New Zealand or are terrified of the alternative, then give your party vote to ACT in 31 days anymore, 18 days time on September 23.
Just vote for them as soon as you can.
Whenever you like, just do it. Actually, you can do it now. Yeah, do it. So, you can
That's it. You had an hour to think of that orange man joke. 1 hour. What a shame. And now we have 1 minute for Maori Party representative. That's the word I should have used the whole time. Who cares? It's too late. Doesn't matter. Here you go, buddy. You got 1 minute.
I do want to just address one issue that's been on my mind this entire debate, and it's the lack of women here. And I hope to, at the next election and at perhaps another event, that you guys prioritise that as something that you guys want to do. So I'm sorry that they're to the woman here this evening. But a vote for Maori Party is a vote for consent, and I think, as I said at the start, we can put aside the shit and just get on with the issues that actually matter in this country. We will work with whoever the government is, be it a blue government, a Labour government, or whatever else you want to call it. We will work with the government because, you know, that's where you actually achieve the change that our people want to see. And so, yeah, just like everyone else, I will say, 2 tips Māori Party, make it Māori, make it happen, but just vote, yeah? Kia ora tātou.
As a quick note before I hand over, okay, to Sean Stagg from the Opportunities Party, I want to say that there was going to be a female representative, at least one, but she was sick. She was unable to make it today. I'm sure that in future events they will be included. Don't think that William and whoever else organised this event is sexist. He's not sexist. Okay, he loves the ladies. You can tell just by looking at him. Now we have a 1-minute closing statement from the Opportunities Party representative, Sean Stagg.
Yeah, thanks everyone for coming and listening. The audience looks pretty tribal, which is to be expected at 6 o'clock on the first day back at uni, I guess. But basically, what I think you should do, even if you don't think you're going to vote for Top, I just really just go and look at like their tax policy. Just read it. No, don't do groan. Actually, like read a policy and think about it. And then even if you've already voted, then next time you might go, fuck, maybe politics in New Zealand isn't all completely full of shit all the time. So go read a policy that's all there. You can look at all the evidence. And it's not going to be about people bickering back and forth. And to be honest, it will actually give you some hope that in the next election, even if Top doesn't get the 5, they'll still be there, the policies will be the same, and they'll still work. But yeah, vote Opportunity, vote Jeff Simmons for Wellington Central as well, because Grant Robertson will probably be in Parliament anyway, so we may as well have 2 MPs, eh? Sweet.
Let's close the night with a firecracker, shall we? David Hanna from New Zealand First. You have 1 minute.
Well, here we have 4 parties that it's doubtful will be in Parliament after the next election, and 2 who have had more than enough opportunity to help this country and have yet done nothing but screw it over. This is a 3-horse race, and this is the greatest country on earth. Don't vote for a party whose credo is put New Zealand second. When you vote in this election, vote for your values, vote for your country, vote for your people, and vote New Zealand first. Thank you.
Oh, wait a second. We're nearly finished. Hey, that's such a rest. I got commie next to sell. Whatever. Right, okay, I'm going to get the guy, and well, half of the team at least, that put this event together, William, to the stage before I leave. My name is Donald Trump / Alexandre Sparrow. You can find me on Facebook. Welcome to the stage, William, the guy you have to thank for this event.
Hi guys, before I did the final thank yous, I do want to say, yes, we are disappointed by the gender balance. We are sorry, imbalance, sorry, yes. We are sorry about that. We didn't choose the representatives for the parties. There was a woman representing New Zealand First, but that is something we probably should have kept in mind when inviting representatives, maybe saying, if you got a woman, could you go. So on behalf of PolSoc, if anybody's offended about that, we apologize. Yeah. Okay. Alright, so I have had a lot of fun. Tonight. A huge thank you to the representatives of all the parties. Give them a great round of applause, everyone. And also a huge round of applause for our photographer tonight, Michael Hemming, who's just right over there. Give him a huge round of applause. And of course, a huge round of applause for Alex Sparrow, who's been a great MC for us. And also, just one thing before we just close up tonight, we will be posting on our Facebook page a raffle for his event. So We'll be posting something on that, so if you just want to comment your name or comment a friend of yours on that post, you can win 2 tickets to our upcoming show, which is
DJ Trump.
That's coming up. So I had a lot of fun, and also thank you to all of you for turning up tonight. You really made this a great event. Ka kite noho. Have a good night, everyone.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'm sure it ended. Yeah. Get out of it.